Howdy folks. Wow, another week. For whatever reason, this week smells like COVID. What a coincidence! It just so happens that we will be going over COVID vaccines for kiddos under 5 this week. What a coincidence! How lucky! Alright, all jokes aside, because both the CDC and FDA have approved COVID-19 vaccination for kids under 5 as of last month, I have been getting some inquiries about COVID-19 vaccinations for kiddos under 5. So, I've decided to dedicate this episode to this topic. For those of you who are interested in going into medicine, there is one thing I would like to caution you about, which is in the field of medicine, as a physician, sometimes, and most of the times, we have to stand up for what we believe is the right thing to do, even if some folks do not agree with us. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes this can be very hard because you feel like you are trying to do your best for whoever you care about or care for. But for whatever reason, sometimes your intention is perceived negatively, which is undoubtedly a very frustrating feeling. For example, by advocating for COVID-19 vaccine, which you truly believe is the right thing to do, you can be called a liar, a sheep, or even worse things. Therefore, it really becomes very difficult at times. And I will be very honest with you. Over the past now more than 2 years, a lot of us healthcare professionals have gotten very emotionally drained, and that burnout is real. If you don't know anything about burnout, regardless of your profession, it's your fault because I also dedicated an episode on this. So go watch it. Back to, for those of you who are interested in going into medicine, but aren't super confrontational, I'll give you some advice at the end of this video so we don't waste other people's time here. So, on to COVID-19 vaccines for kids under 5. Let's go! Howdy folks, this is Dr. Bao.
Yeah!
The goal of this channel is to make it useful for those of you who might be interested in learning more about a doctor's life. You could be a student, a resident, a fellow, an attending, a parent, or someone who simply loves to information overload yourself.
Seriously.
Although I do work and am affiliated with some hospitals and med school, what I say does not represent the opinion of any entity except myself. Please like or dislike, hopefully not dislike, subscribe, comment, share, and press that bell icon.
Great.
Alright, first and foremost, I support kiddos under the age of 5 to get vaccinated against COVID-19. For those of you who feel like I should explain myself to prove a point, I will do so. Mushi and I have previously discussed the general considerations of vaccinations, but I will briefly go over them over here. Number 1, vaccines have to be safe. Number 2, vaccines have to be effective or efficacious. Number 3, there should be mass application. Number 4, vaccines should be easy to administer. And number 5, vaccines should be cost effective. Because of all those general considerations, we do not have vaccination against every condition known to human beings because it's just not feasible. But for COVID-19, it is feasible. And we do have effective and safe vaccines against it. Considering the current incidence, hospitalization, and mortality of COVID-19 infections for kiddos under the age of 5, I do believe that kids under the age of 5 should get vaccinated against COVID-19, either through Moderna or through Pfizer. As of mid-June, which was last month, there were more than 500,000 of COVID-19 cases occurring among infants, and more than 1.9 million COVID-19 cases occurring among children between the ages of 1 through 4. During 2022, hospitalization rates are higher among children ages 6 months to 4 years than among children ages 5 through 11 years old and adolescent ages 12 through 17 years old. As of, I believe, mid-May, there were more than 200 COVID-19 related deaths reported to the National Center for Health Statistics among children ages 6 months to 4 years. COVID-19 was actually the leading cause of death among children ages 0 to 4 years during the pandemic. And there are more stats, but I don't remember all of them, so I'm not gonna go over all of them. The bottom line is I really think and believe it is right for our kiddos under the age of 5 to get vaccinated. Are there side effects? Yes, there are expected side effects, and we're gonna go over them. But the benefits outweigh the risks. associated with getting vaccinated against COVID-19. The two questions that I will address will be whether COVID-19 vaccines by Moderna and Pfizer, currently the only available ones to kids under 5, are they number one, effective? And number two, are they safe? As stated before, I am not here to preach. I'm not here to change your life values, your family philosophies. I'm not. I'm just trying to be a good doctor. That's all. A good human being, in my opinion. That does not mean, don't twist my words, that does not mean if you don't get vaccinated, you are a bad human being. I am simply giving you what I believe is the right thing to do for our next generation. Whatever you believe in, that is up to you. Nothing I can do. All right, so let's go over the effectiveness and safety of COVID-19 vaccines for both Moderna and Pfizer. So the first question is the COVID-19 vaccine by Moderna effective for children 6 months of age through 5 years of age? Well, immune responses of 230 children 6 through 23 months of age and 260 children 2 through 5 years of age after 2-dose primary series of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine were compared to the immune responses of 290 adults 18 through 25 years of age, though the doses were lower in children than in adults. But the result was that both age groups of children had comparable immune responses to adults. The second question is the COVID-19 vaccine by Moderna safe for children 6 months through 5 years of age? Well, safety was evaluated in about 1,700 children 6 through 23 months of age who received the vaccine and 600 who received placebo. Safety was also evaluated in about 3,000 children 2 through 5 years of age who received the vaccine and 1,000 who received placebo. Most commonly reported side effects included pain, redness, and swelling at the injection site, fever, and ipsilateral underarm or growing lymphadenopathy, which means lymph node swelling and or tenderness in the arm or thigh on the same side as the injection. If we subclassify for kids 6 through 36 months of age, the most commonly reported side effects included irritability/crying, sleepiness, and loss of appetite. In age group 37 months of age to 5 years of age, the most commonly reported side effects also included fatigue, headache, muscle ache, chills, nausea, vomiting, and joint stiffness. Next question. Is the COVID-19 vaccine by Pfizer effective in kids 6 months through 4 years of age? Well, immune responses of 80 children 6 through 23 months of age and 140 children 2 through 4 years of age after Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine were compared to immune responses of 170 adults 16 through 25 years of age. The result was that both age groups of children had comparable immune responses to adults. Last question. Is the COVID-19 vaccine by Pfizer safe for children 6 months through 4 years of age? Well, safety was evaluated in about 1,170 children 6 through 23 months of age who received the vaccine and 600 who received placebo. Safety was also evaluated in about 1,800 children 2 through 4 years of age who received the vaccine and 900 who received placebo. Within the 6 through 23 months of age group, most commonly reported side effects included irritability, decreased appetite, fever, pain, redness, tenderness, and swelling at the injection site. For the 2 to 4 year old age group, the most commonly reported side effects were overall similar to the 6 to 23 month old age group, but also included fever, chills, and headache. So what about myocarditis or pericarditis? That is something that we get asked a lot, quite a lot to be very fair. Thus far, for now, we have found that the highest risk groups are males between the age of 18 to 24 years old who take the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine, and males between 12 and 17 years of age who take the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. On the bright side, most cases are characterized by rapid resolution of symptoms following conservative management, and most cases had no impact on quality of life. For those of you who are interested in getting your kids under 5 vaccinated against COVID-19, I highly encourage you to consider VSafe. And this, you can definitely Google to find out more. But in a nutshell, VSafe provides personalized and confidential health check-ins via text messages and web surveys. So you can quickly and easily share with the CDC how you or your dependents feel after getting a COVID-19 vaccine. This helps the CDC to monitor the safety of COVID-19 vaccines in near real time, which I think is extremely valuable. So consider V-Safe. Now, lastly, what do you do when your intention is good and you share information that you believe is truly the right thing for your patients, family, and or friends, but for whatever reason you are perceived negatively? I think there are three things to consider. Number one, are you sure your information is accurate? Although there is some subjectivity to this question, we as physicians or people who go into science in some kind of way need to evaluate things scientifically and consistently. So think about whether your information is truly correct or not. And if you believe it is right, at least at the heat of the moment, right now, you believe it is right, then continue on with what you preach or what you share. There is a chance that sometimes in the future, whatever we believe is right at this particular time might be wrong, but at least at this moment, you are doing the right thing. And that's all we can ask for, honestly, from anyone. Number two, have you exaggerated the information that you would like to share? For example, have you falsely given the hope that by getting vaccinated against anything, doesn't have to be COVID, it could be monkeypox. And if you haven't watched the monkeypox vaccination recommendations, it is your fault because I dedicated a special episode on this, so go watch it. But have you falsely exaggerated, for example, by getting vaccinated against something, you are always protected, you would be fine, there's nothing bad that's gonna happen? Because at the end of the day, we can only share information that we believe is true. We're not gods or God, depending on what you believe. We cannot guarantee anything. We share information to the fullest extent that we can, and we honestly hope for the best. I will give you a real life example. I take care of kids with cancer. I cannot tell folks that everything is gonna be always fine. And I have to let them know that I can't sugarcoat things, that there are gonna be road bumps, and sometimes there are gonna be bad outcomes, even if I don't want those to happen. So that's number two. Make sure that you haven't falsely given information that is beyond what can be proven at this particular time. Or you haven't given information that is falsely reassuring. Number three, reflect on your tone. Meaning, when you made the recommendation and somebody was not really happy with the recommendation, was your tone neutral? Or were you having some kind of attitude within your tone? I think this depends on a lot of self-reflection. And I think most of us can tell that when we said certain things that we said, did we say it in a neutral tone, in an altruistic tone, or were we somehow ticked off and we said a few things that were emotional rather than factual? Because tones affect how people perceive. So those are the three things that I would ask you to consider when somebody does not take your good intention positively. There is one thing that I would also say is that don't take things personally. As long as you believe you're doing the right thing, which is number one. And number two, you're not falsely exaggerating anything. And number three, your tone is nice, is neutral, is altruistic. Don't take things personally. We can't make everyone happy on earth. If you have questions about medicine or being a doctor, leave a comment and eventually I will get back to you. For now, best of luck.